Okay, everyone, and welcome back to my tournament predictions. Thanks for sticking with me if you watched the first video. If you didn't, then I'm going to go ahead and show you my Final Four picks, not the other stuff, because you can watch it on your own, but Final Four picks are the most important thing. So, there you go, Kansas and Kentucky. And then, now, we have the West and the Midwest. Huge stuff. Oregon played shockingly well. They played so well, it's not even funny. But, yeah, they played so well down the stretch and just managed to be incredibly good. But, anyways, let's start off with the West, and Oregon will advance. St. Joe's and Cincinnati were a good one, but St. Joe's has had so much challenge, much more than Cincinnati, in my opinion, so I think St. Joe's will advance just because they've had more of a challenge than Cincinnati. Baylor will advance over Yale, although Yale won't be bad. And Duke will not be embarrassed like they were 2 years ago when they got knocked out in the first round. Although this year they're not as good. I think Duke will advance. After that, however, I have Texas hosting Northern Iowa. Texas didn't have a great season. They were pretty irrelevant for most of it, but they got the job done. They were 16 in the tournament, but I got Northern Iowa. Pulling off the upset. Shocking upset, actually. And shocking the world. Texas A&M has no problem with Green Bay. I think Oregon State will actually lose to VCU. Actually, I take that back. I think Oregon State will just edge it out. But it will not be... Well, it will be a very close game, in my opinion. It's either going to be VCU by very close or Oregon State by like 10. So I think Oregon State's going to take it. They're going to run away with it in like the last minute or so with a couple threes. Oklahoma hosts CSU Bakersfield. Not really hosts, but whatever. And Oklahoma should be able to win that. In the Midwest bracket, I'm doing the format a little bit differently, as you can tell, by like doing it round by round in each of them. So, in both of them, I should say. UVA winning it, and it's going to be the same thing. Texas Tech and Butler have both had an insane amount of competition. I think Texas Tech a little bit more so. I think Texas Tech may be a bit overrated because we all know how good the Big 12 is this year, but they're not as great. I'm not going to lie. But they're not amazing. Like, we all know how good the Big 12 is what I'm trying to say. But it's just like some teams can be overrated because of how good the top, 4 teams are in it. So, yeah, Texas Tech will lose to Butler. Purdue. Now, this is going to stun a lot of you, but I think this is going to be the upset season. Little Rock will make it past Purdue. I don't really have too much analysis on it, but I think there's always one 5-12 upset. I don't think Yale's going to pull it off. I don't think South Dakota State's going to pull it off. I definitely don't think Chattanooga's going to pull it off. So I just really think that Air Little Rock has probably best chance, and I think they're going to pull it out. Iowa State hosting Iona. They'll have absolutely no problem with that, Iowa State. Seton Hall hosting Gonzaga. Gonzaga had a really poor season. And will they be able to pull it off? No. Even Gonzaga's not that good come tournament time anyways, so I think it'll be them making it again. Okay. A little bit of the clouds come out, and I start yawning. What's up with that? Fresno State made it in as a 14 seed. Unfortunately, San Diego State didn't make it, which is really bad because we're better than Fresno State as well. So it's disappointing. It must have meant that we're like a 13 seed or something, but Fresno State was automatically qualified, which is dumb. I honestly don't understand that, how the tournament can decide who makes it in, even though the team that's better overall for 18 games, you can get eliminated during one game and you make it in. I mean, I might just be a salty SDSU fan speaking, but it just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, Utah will kill Fresno State because we played them earlier in the year and beat them by a lot, but that was just not our day, and it's unfortunate that we did get knocked out. But anyways, enough of that. Syracuse-Dayton. Syracuse started off really badly, but now that they have Jim Boeheim, they want to play for Jim Boeheim, and they're going to win it. Michigan State's going to win as well. So I'm going to stick with the Midwest for a second here and go with Michigan State. That's a pretty easy pick. Seton Hall are a really good team, but I don't think they're as good as the Villanovas or the whatevers. And if they're not as good as Villanova, or in my opinion, they're not even that close to them, I think they'll probably get knocked out pretty easily. And then Iowa State, Little Rock. I'm going to shock the world and predict that Butler beats number 1 Virginia. And I did say that I only predicted 1 through 4 matchup. And I'm going to stick with that. And Virginia will get knocked out. And Virginia aren't really good in the tournament. And that's the only reason why. And Butler have just had such a great competitive schedule. It's been pretty nice. So Butler will shock the world, and Iowa State will also make it. Then we have here, Oregon will pretty much cruise past St. Joe's. I think Duke have been very sporadic, while Baylor have just had so much good competition to deal with. They'll beat Duke by around 6, and the reigning champions will go out. But I just don't think this is Mike Krzyzewski's year. That was tough to get off my tongue. I just don't think this is Mike Krzyzewski's year to win it, or even go into the Sweet 16. Even though Duke always do, I think Baylor are a really good side. Pretty underrated as well. And, yeah. So I got Baylor making it in with Oregon, 2 green teams. Northern Iowa, Texas A&M. I don't think Northern Iowa will pull off another one. I got A&M, the Aggies, and then Oklahoma will pretty much make it there. I also got Oklahoma there pretty easily. And then Oregon, Baylor. That'll be a tough one. But I am going to say that Baylor makes it through. Okay, well anyways. Back here to the Midwest. Utah, Michigan State in a battle of 2 versus 3. I don't think I've not predicted a 2v3 yet. Oh, I have. I predicted Iowa knocking off 2 Villanova, which is the only number 2 or number 3 that hasn't made it into the Elite 8. I've been unfortunate there. But yeah, Utah and Michigan State, this is going to be a very tight game, honestly. And I think in the end it's going to come down to experience. And I got Michigan State. Plus they won the tournament, and as I said in the last video, all teams that win the tournament always do really freaking well. Butler, Iowa State. This is going to be another good matchup by Iowa State. I think there's just a chasm in class. Now, Michigan State here. They'll make it. I don't have much of an argument against it, other than Michigan State have momentum, and they have the talent. They have probably the best, not the best overall, but just an insane player in Denzel Valentine, nonetheless. So, I really like it. I really like Michigan State to make them the Final Four yet again. Baylor and Oklahoma. I also have the 2 seed making it in here with Oklahoma. So here are my final predictions for the Final Four. I'll be making a separate video pretty soon, actually. Kansas, Oklahoma, that's going to be insane. Along with Kentucky and Michigan State. Both are going to be insane down to the wire matches. But that's for another video, which should be coming out pretty soon. Yeah, that was that video. Went much quicker, maybe because of the new format, but hope you like my predictions. And again, my opinion, don't hate, appreciate. See you later.